Yes. Mm-hmm. Be nice, girls.
It's a little bit different too, but.
All right, my clock says that it's 1:45, so we have another public hearing, and this is going to be over an impact permit number 163. Kim, can you do the roll call and tell us a little bit about the public hearing?
Commissioner Sikla?
Here.
Commissioner Lambert?
Here.
Commissioner Till is absent. Administrator Bruner?
Here.
Attorney Baxter?
Here.
And Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing and determining a light industrial, INDLZ, rezoning request and a proposed amendment to high impact permit number 163 on property owned by DKG Investments, LLC, agent Michael Jason Krobe, located at 11524 Highway 491, Cortez, Colorado, located east of Highway 491, south of Road L.5, consisting of 2 acres more or less, situated on Section 15, Township 36 North, Range 16 West, NMPM. The hearing will be held Monday, May 16, 2016 at 1:45 p.m. in the Commissioner's Hearing Room, District Courthouse, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Review of the file or other information can be provided by the Planning Department, Room 305, District Courthouse, Cortez, Colorado, or can be accessed online at http://montezumacounty.org Web Department Planning. Or you can contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 18th day of April 2016. Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Cortez Journal on Friday, April 23rd, 2016.
All right, thank you, Kim. Leanne, can you tell us a little bit about this request?
Yes, they.
Oh. Sorry, I was sleepy.
It's okay. The property is located right here, which is Reflections in Metal. They do metal arts. They're north of Cortez. They wanted to expand on their building this direction, and they had already expanded a little bit on this direction. Am I correct in saying that? So we are not only going back and amending the permit to include the expansion that happened here, because if you expand more than 10% on the original permit that you have to amend your permit. But they are also wanting to expand down in this area right here for fabricating purposes. So we're including that into this permit as well. They're not, I don't think at this point anticipating that immediately, but it's potential. So basically really doing a good job at forward thinking and the possibility of them expanding in the future without having to come back and back and back. So we had to rezone them. They were actually zoned AR 3 to 9, which was not a good zoning category for what they were doing. So we had to rezone them and then amend their existing permit that they had. It went to the Planning Commission on the 14th. The Planning Commission reviewed it. The only thing that was outstanding, we had some issues with septic, but they have mitigated that with Melissa Matthews with the County Health Department. And there was also some issues with access off of the state highway, which were also mitigated throughout the process. They actually did get their permit amended, and we've received their amended permit. So the Planning Commission's recommendation was to approve all their requests contingent on their CDOT access permit and Melissa Matthews's and the sanitary requirements that need to be done with the county, and they've done all of that. So
Where was the access? Is it the one that is between those two buildings?
yeah, the access is right here.
And they had
So
to
they
get
have parking here, and then they also have parking like for patrons up here. Their staff, their workers park in this area. And please, if I'm saying anything wrong, please correct me. But they, you know, their staff and their workers park around here or back around here.
Yeah, I think CDOT's already approved the height impact for
Mhm,
the
they have.
access. There's a 4-lane there, there's no problem, they said there's.
Well, the only reason I asked that is I can't believe there wouldn't be a permit already, because that they sold tractors there
Yeah.
40 years ago.
There was
30 years
one,
ago.
they just had to amend it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they did that.
So the access wasn't changed at all through that permit? It just updated?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes we have problems with CDOT, so that's I just wanted to know for.
Because of the angle that Highway 491 runs, is there any danger of getting too close to their property line if they extend it?
Now, what was that? Pardon me, I'm sorry.
Because of the angle that 491 runs and the building isn't lined with the highway, it's lined probably straight north and south. If they extend that down, is there any danger of getting too close to their property line?
Oh, no, we've already measured that out. We're still within the back. On the left-hand side, I think you're 60 foot, and on the back, you could probably go another 75 feet. But we're only going on the back side about 35 feet.
35 feet.
So we've already checked within the fence lines and
Okay.
all that.
Can you
It's hard to tell by the photo, that's what I was.
Can you ask them to come up?
Sure.
Would you guys mind coming up? No.
We brought your sign.
Hmm?
We brought the sign.
Oh, thank you.
How are you
Nice to meet you,
doing?
Melody.
Jason?
James Lambert.
Nice to meet you, Melody.
Glad to meet you.
Well, I'll tell you what, do you have any other questions at this?
Not at this point.
Okay. At this time, we'll open it up to public comment. If anybody would like to come up, if you'd state your name and your address, if you would like to talk about this supposed, I forget what it was that what they wanted to do, a rezoning request. All right, seeing none, I will close the public comment period of this public hearing, and I'll bring it back to the table. Do you have anything to add, Leanne?
No, I don't, but I know that Ms. Krobe wanted to address the board about some things possible.
We were talking in some of our conversations about some economic development opportunities. I was hoping to see if you guys had any ideas on, we are going forward with the building, expanding on the building, and also bringing in equipment when we're looking to expand. And we have a need in this county. I wanted to see if you guys had any ideas. We've kind of felt around some other counties and some other areas, and was told that it might be something we would address with you.
Like a need for, you mean some help?
Yeah.
Yes. Have you ever heard of Region 9?
Yeah, we've dealt with Joe Keck. There's other counties that are offering to move our equipment because we're looking at going up to 60 employees within the next 2 years. And they're willing to move our equipment, willing to, for job growth in their areas. I know my competitor, which is Lazar, a county in Texas actually purchased a building and gave it to them for, 3 employee people.
What is that about double yours? What I think you said you have 20 something right now, or what? Do you
Yeah, we have 20 employees.
Okay, so it's tripling your size.
But yeah, and in this town, we really sell to probably less than 1%. we're like Tuffy. I was talking with the Tuffy production manager. I think they've sold 2 lock boxes locally. Everything goes, and that's with us. We're in an area where we're going to be doing lots of shipping, and the shipping out of Cortez is expensive. If we was in a bigger city, the shipping would be more affordable with a lot of wholesale accounts. You know, that will lead them on or off. So we're really looking at the growth of staying here. We love the town, but then we're in the thing of, you know, it's the labor is good here, but the shipping cost would be outrageous.
What are you suggesting?
I was just seeing if you guys had any ideas as far as, you know, state or county funding or ideas. That's what I'm looking for.
Does these other counties have a sales tax? Because we don't have a sales tax here.
I haven't checked that.
I do know that, so, no, no, they don't. That's true. We don't have a county sales tax. Let me check.
Yeah, we used to have the big building in the industrial parks. We moved out of the city limits to get out of city limits, which now we can sell on the side of the road, which actually works good. But I think as we've worked with Region 9, I think we just need to get more into lean manufacturing. Will come down and help us get all of our equipment set up and be cost effective. But I think is what you're looking for is like tax breaks. And
yeah, like tax incentives or maybe some type of grants or training training programs to help with the growth.
What does the enterprise zone do?
Actually, that's right.
Because didn't they say that all of Montezuma County qualifies for enterprise zone credit, which Region 9 does deal with those. I don't know exactly what all it entails, but there's you can get credits on your taxes for improving and expanding and things like that. So when you file your taxes, so
Chelsea.
Chelsea Jones.
Chelsea
Okay.
with Makeda.
Okay.
I think you spoke with
Yeah,
her.
I have spoke with her. I have an
but you might
appointment
check
actually
the
with her.
enterprise zone credit application. And I think how that works is that goes to Region 9, and one of the things that they'll ask is letters of support, you know, and in that case the commissioners could write a letter of support for your being approved as an enterprise zone credit. So that's a possibility.
Something to check into.
Yes.
Another thing that you might want to check into is the community college has portable training modules for a variety of skills, and they will actually bring the training module out to your location and train people on your site. Tomas, and I don't remember his last name, is in charge of that program, but check with the community college.
Okay.
Because they do have access to some state programs that provide training.
Yeah, that's good to know. I know Boise, that's where we were thinking about moving. They actually pay you a certain amount for training per employee. And I know as a company, we've actually trained a lot of people for welding and running equipment, and they've moved on, you know, for better pay scales. But we do a lot of training of employees in our place. But
They
you know,
have
the turnover.
training modules, so be sure and check with
Yeah.
the community college, right?
Well, I can tell you we're pro-business because I was just thinking that there's only one business in 3 years that I've been a commissioner, 3.5 years, that we ever denied, and that was the Stoner Bongathon.
Oh, okay.
So other than that, there has not been one business since we've been commissioners that has been denied a permit. As far as some kind of an incentive, we were having this discussion at lunch, and that is that if the hospital's sales tax is 0.04 and it brings in 1.2 million, if there was a 1% county sales tax, it would bring in 30 million. And so that 30 million would come from you guys, your business. And so I don't know, you would have to look at the other, almost all counties have a county sales tax. So I would be very surprised if the county of Boise, Idaho did not have a county sales tax, and you can see what the difference is about living here versus living up there, because we would love to have your business here.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I think if you've got an appointment with Chelsea, she can do you a bunch of good.
Good, I'll be looking forward to that.
And I sit on the Region 9 board, and so Joe Keck isn't a part of the Region 9
Right.
board. It's Laura Lewis.
And Marcina Lewis.
And I can have her get in contact with you guys
Okay,
as well.
that'd be great.
She is very helpful. She's part of the Lewis's over there in Durango. So, anyway, on that note, let's go back to this public hearing and the proposal for the rezoning request
And the amendment.
and the amendment.
Okay. I don't have anything else, do you?
No.
I'll move that the rezoning request and a proposed amendment to the high impact permit number 163 for DKG Investments LLC be approved.
Second, there's been a motion and a second to approve the rezoning request and the amendment for DKG Investments. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're good?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Now, just a
So is it-
question.
Oh, I just,
sorry.
no, keep going, just a second,
If,
Jason.
if we decide to add on to the right side, it would only be 20 foot by 30 foot, which would be here.
Here,
on the laser
there's the
thing.
bottom button right there.
Okay. I'm halfway blind, so, oh, this is, it would just be right here a section. Do we have to come back in and do a process, or do we get with you to add on to that, or?
So you're saying instead of doing it where you originally were going to?
It would
or-
actually, inside the shop here will be conveyorized powder coaters that actually reclaim the powder coat and reuse everything. And that's why we have to build it out here, is for the conveyor to go around the back. This side right here would be where my CNC plasmas and routers go on this side.
Is the other building included? When you say 10%, is it just that building or both buildings?
I don't think they included, we went and measured a lot of these, and I think with the addition that we built out here, we were like 12%.
I think it was like 18, if I recall. As far as the expansion, the idea of doing this is not to circumvent the land use code. It's not to piecemeal things. It's to plan out things like that. So if you're planning that now, then it's better to have that now. And now that you've said that,
I just don't want to be in a situation to where we start growing, and you know, that's what I was telling my wife. I was saying there's some buildings for sale that are ready that we could probably purchase without even messing with this, and just keep going and going and going, because we are going to be expanding and hiring more people, and I just don't want to be in a position to where we're putting all this money in this building with, I mean, 3-phase power just to get it across the highway was $30,000. I mean, we're investing a lot into this building, and I just don't want to be in a situation to where.
and how much did you pay in building inspections and permits and?
Electrical permit, that
No,
was
but
cheap.
how many times did the county come out and look at what you were doing?
I haven't even seen them out there. Well, that I know of, I mean,
Well, I mean, we require what we require, which is you, like, engineering it to a certain standard. And we
Okay.
require you to engineer that the way that it is.
Mhm.
But I think our county is very unique in the fact that, you know, we offer things that maybe, you know, it sounds really good and like the, you know, really golden over
Mhm.
here. But if you look at it, if you really look at it, it's going to cost you more to do what you're doing over there, because you're going to have to go into permitting, you're going to have to get, you know, inspections, you're going to have to get, you know, and not to say that those are bad at all. But what I'm saying is, I don't know, you kinda gotta balance what you have. And I know that, I know that maybe we can't offer to move equipment or things like that, but I think we do have a lot to offer in the sense that we value your property rights.
Yeah, the thing, I'm putting my whole life savings, I mean, everything into this, and once you put all your eggs in this thing, kind of limits me, so, you know, I think that would be the only expansion, would be 20 foot by 30 foot on the right-hand side, and we'd be done with it.
And so is our, you said they have to come back in if it's over 10%?
Every time, or?
Okay,
Because
so
as they make the building bigger, the 10% number
anytime,
increases.
yes, so anytime you expand more than the 10%, then that initiates an amendment of your permit. You have to notify your neighbors and let them know that you're growing and let them know that you're, bursting at the seams. And you have to do that, but that 10% also is not put in there so that you can do 90% every single time and not have to go through the process. So if you want to include that portion on the building, I mean, in my opinion, is better to do now so that you're transparent with what you're doing versus, coming back later and piecemealing it. You can't piecemeal these things. That's what makes neighbors angry. That's why the land use code is there, so that everyone can be a part of. And
I'm just looking at the future plan for the building, and that's what eventually would have to happen.
It's not immediate.
Yeah, it wouldn't be immediate, but the equipment, they're 5 foot by 10 foot CNC machines that would be put outside to leave room for the workers in front of the conveyors. And right now the building's only 50 foot wide, so by the time you have the powder coater in there and the workers, you're only gonna have about 5 feet for the people to work in.
so
You gave the number. What was the number you said? What was it?
Was 25 feet, which would be
Times what? Well, no, what the square footage
25 by
is.
40. So there's already a concrete pad out here. So just come out 20 feet to the right, and then it would be 40 feet this way. So it'd be just a little section built on
So it's 800 square feet.
it. Mm-hmm.
And how big is that building?
Oh, geez. It's, right now it's 50,
It's 50 by 75.
and then the new addition is 40 foot. So you're 75 plus 40 foot.
So it's 50 plus 100. What did you say?
40 foot on
75 foot long plus the 40 foot.
the addition that we
It's
just
125.
did. Yep. 125 feet by 50 feet wide.
Could he go ahead and write this into the amendment, include it in the amendment now, or do we have to?
62.
no, we can't. I mean, what?
It's 6250.
125 times 50.
So it's 4,800 square feet now.
Does that have the?
It doesn't have the new addition.
Okay.
The old
So we have
edition was
40 foot
50
this
by
way.
75. The new one that we just put on is 50 by 40, 45 feet. So we just added 45 feet onto the 75 foot of the building.
Well, if we did our addition right, you got a 6,250 square foot building, and you want to add 800.
10% would be 625.
Yeah.
So we would need to come back in for another permit,
To amend your
to
plan.
amend the permit, okay.
Well, unless no, we can't go over.
But how I kind of understood it, it's the combined building. It's just not this building. It would be this building per property.
Okay.
If you, that's how I kind of understood it, and Kelly McCabe understood it, was the combined of the buildings. You just can't count the one. It would be a percentage.
And arguably, I would say yes. It can be, the land use code in all its glory is kind of vague on certain things. As far as footprint, it doesn't specifically say, footprint per building or, things like that. But it doesn't not say that either. So having your zoning the way that it is now, there's like in ag residential things, you can't exceed 12% of your like building footprint on your property, no matter what. Commercial, industrial, you can exceed that. But also, in the spirit of being a good neighbor, and in the spirit of, again, being transparent, and then, you know, things like that, I think it's important for you to do that, to say, you know, no one's here opposing anything that anyone's doing. I just think that it's important to have that in there so that when we you know, I'll bring your permit to the commissioners to sign in a week or two, you know, after we've had this conversation, and your site plan will be a part of that permit. Your site plan will show, you know, what you've brought to us today. Including that into it, I think is vital. I think that we have and I know that there's a couple of members of the planning commission out here that we've seen things piecemealed quite a bit, and it doesn't ever end up really well in the long run.
This is my problem, and that is he's being transparent and upfront and saying, I want to add 20 by 40 feet down the road, and
So maybe we hold this in abeyance and fix
okay,
it.
but that wasn't when they sent out their letters and their site plans to everyone. It did not have that on
Right, we
that.
just have to do that again.
I'm just looking for future, you know what I'm saying? I just don't want to.
No, I know.
Because this has cost me a lot of time and, you know, the impact permit.
And don't get me wrong, I'm
Yeah.
not doing this to be mean. I mean, I'm doing this to make sure that everyone, not you as well as your neighbors, everyone knows your neighborhood, your entire neighborhood is protected. I mean, everyone knows. No one can say they didn't know. You know, or that you were being shady, or
Right.
you know what I mean, or that the commissioners did something that you know what I mean, like just being transparent. The site plan that we sent out was this,
Right.
was not
It didn't include
having.
the 20.
Well, I think just so
Without-
we
it's
can
just
get
been
this
resent.
done and over, we'll just forget about the addition,
Okay.
just to,
The 20-foot.
yeah.
Yeah, let's just keep it at what we applied for.
Okay.
And,
When they grow so fast, we're gonna be elated to have them come back. It happened so quickly.
No, it's
But
just
that's
been with,
involved.
you know, with the, I think being in business to pay for CDOT, and it's a piece of paper they give you, it was already zoned for
No, I know.
tractor supply, and it's adequate access, and it's just been really aggravating. I think
It's
as a
just-
business owner, and you're paying taxes, and you're paying workman's comp, and you just keep getting hit and hit. And you know, we're not this company making tons of money here. You know, we're leaving to, you know, Estes Park in Denver. We're traveling, and we're paying motels and gas, and you know, just to live in this county.
I just paid
And
water assessments to feed my cows.
But yeah, that's what we're kind of, and we love Cortez, but it's just like,
No, I know.
you know, even if we moved our company into Farmington, but there's no oil field going on there, but we would have a lot of fabrication. We're starting to get into a lot of the fabrication for Salisbury and the Hesper's mine, and it's mainly that addition was for fabrication for more industrial stuff, not so much as metal art. It's more to get into railing. We've done the Hampton Inn railing. We've done bank signs. A lot of stuff around the area. So it's to justify the metal art, kind of keeps the bills paid, but you got to take on the extra stuff to keep the employees paid, because through the winters
Right.
it gets really slow. And as a company, we keep our people employed all the time. So,
You make some really cool stuff too.
thank you.
I agree.
Beautiful.
I
Beautiful
agree.
piece of stuff.
But we're looking at picking up Cabela's. Right now, we're working a deal with Airmark, which is Mesa Verde, for all the Airmark properties, which would be all the motels that Airmark owns, which is, I don't know, tons of
Big
them.
government properties.
So we're doing
Sort of contract.
the trash cans and the mirrors and the lamps for all the motel
Other
rooms.
stuff than just metal art.
So we're trying to pick up
And of
bigger.
course, the art is always the bread and butter.
bigger companies for bigger productions, so we're not driving to Denver to sell our art or driving to Phoenix. We're trying to keep it local and just hit the mass wholesale market and then try to get in with the Holiday Inns and the Airmark and companies like that.
Well, let us see if we can help you with Region 9 and that enterprise zone. And we hope that you're back in here next week because you're doing so good that you need to do the 20 by 40 expansion.
May I draft a letter
To-
for Region 9 for them?
Yes. No, thank you. No. All right. Well, thank you, guys.
All right, well,
We
thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much. I appreciate it.
And at this time, we'll close the public hearing.
Thank you.